Let's see, let us see if this is all working. Alright, visually looks good. Maybe zoom in a bit on the screen. Maybe a little more, so you guys can see the names of each of the categories a bit better. Do we have audio? We do have audio. Let me just pick this up. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good indeed, and we have audio, so hello people of the internet. It is I, Solar Dragon here, back with more of the FGO Waifu Rankings. This time, the 2024 Waifu Rankings edition. I managed to find the website that I used last time, so I did not have to spend an hour rebuilding this waifu ranking from scratch. The only things I did have to do was put Adele and Sion back in here because it didn't save them in the waifu ranking, so I had to remake their pictures. Their pictures are a little bit different now, but that's fine. It's fine. But yeah, so for those who have not seen this before, I do a yearly, or I have been for the past 2 years now, been doing a yearly waifu rankings for the FGO waifus. There are various tiers to the waifus here. The S+ tier, aka the one true waifu, clearly only one is going to be up there. The S tier waifu tier, the S tier, which is the waifu tier. Bleh. Then there is the A tier, which is waifu candidates, so those that have the potential to become waifus with just a little bit more character defining moments. There is the B+ tier, where I would date a character and smash said character as well. The B- tier, which is a tier where I would just smash said character. The C tier, which nothing would really happen. I feel like they need some more character development. The D tier, which is the not happening tier. Suffice to say, those servants, nothing's ever going to happen. They are in various other categories. Then there are a couple of special tiers. We have the friend to all brides tier, which is just below the waifus because, you know, a waifu is a bride, and Habitat is, of course, a friend to all brides. And then there is Praise Long Janta, because Praise Long Janta, the great equalizer of all login timers, she who brought us all back to zero. Praise. But, yeah, so we are going to be going through all of the various waifus here of FGO, from old to the new ones introduced in 2024, and ranking them / moving their rankings depending on how they developed as a character over the course of the year. So I think without further ado, with that little preamble of an introduction done, let us begin. First off, is MASH going to move down? No. Suffice to say, all the S tiers, they're not going to change positions in the slightest. They've all pretty much had as much development as they can have right now. The S tier rankings might change depending on various story-related things, but right now, this is the definitive top 3 categories, not going to change. The waifu candidates tier, however, will experience some slight changes. Castoria, this is, as a reminder, not the Castoria we summoned to Chaldea, but rather the Castoria from Avalon Lefay, because the Castoria we summoned to Chaldea is not Castoria, that is Artoria Avalon, which is just the embodiment of the Holy Sword. So, suffice to say, this is just in memory of a character that will never get more development, sadly. Okitan, we have not seen any development from her. Her level-up lines don't really count. Ortland, however, did have a place in the most recent summer event. It wasn't the biggest place, mind you, but we did get to see some more character development from Ortland, so I think it is fair to put her just a smidge above Okitan. Charlotte, no development, so no change. Abby, no development, no change. Liz, sadly, you know, Liz did get some character development. She's shown that she has grown as a person, and that she was willing to pretty much risk her life to save someone else, and that's not something an early game Liz would do. However, that was kind of the only character development Liz got before being turned into a literal child. And yeah, I'm not counting any of the character development displayed in Child Liz, for normal Liz, so Liz gets no change here. Same thing with Bargus. Bargus gets no change. She hasn't had any roles. Nitocris, we have seen her in the most recent Lost Belt, LB7. However, even then, her role is fairly brief, and it's kind of just implying that, oh, who are you? You've summoned me before? Wow! So, I mean, there was also the Aussie interludes, which I've done this year. Interludes will be playing a part in this, so there will be some sporadic changes to the rankings over the years as I get more interludes done. But, I can't really think of much that Nito has done to move up, sadly. Same thing with Goi, same thing with Mo, same thing with Murasaki, same thing with Oi, same thing with MHXX. And then we go into the Date and Smash tier. Any changes here? Salter, no. Morgan, no. Baoban, no. Gorgon, no. Or not Gorgon, but rather Medusa. But no. Talamo, no. Himiko. She did have a little bit of development this year. Not much, but we did get to see a little bit more of her character with the most recent Guda Guda event. We saw how she was before she met us, how she wanted to essentially bring people that were shrouded in darkness into the light, and I'd say that's some pretty good character development. She is still kind of a ditz, though, but she is nice. I think that's going to move her above Tamamo. You know what? Himiko, it was a small amount of development, but I think it's enough to put her at the top of the Date and Smash tier. Now then, back to the others. Lip, none. Melusine, no change. Benny. Sadly, Adult Benny, you know? We got him the sprite for Adult Benny, and I should probably replace this sprite with Adult Benny's sprite. Note to self, make sure to do that next year. But, otherwise, not really any development, because again, that was another situation where it's implying that this is a Benny that we haven't actually met. And I hate that. But, regardless, no change. No change for Fujino, no change for Anna, no change for Sitanai, no change for Ishtarin, no change for Sai. No, you know what? No, we did have the Sai interludes. We did indeed have the Sai interludes this year. I'd say that she could probably go up a couple spots. Because we got to see that there is more to her than just the happy-go-lucky persona. So, Sai. Where to put you? You had more development. You know what? I think she had enough development from those interludes. I'm fine with putting her... Yeah, I'm going to swap her and Himiko. Yeah, I'll swap her and Himiko, so Sai Shonagun is the top of the Date and Smash tier at the current moment. Nothing. We did see a little bit of Jinako, but not really enough to influence my decisions. Maria, not much. Aris. We got some more development from her. She was in the summer event this year. Isn't enough development to move her any places. We got to see more of her Chuni side, which was adorable. Adorkable, even. She was helpful. She was a bit of a Chuni. Yeah, you know what? While it wasn't much development, I do think we did get enough development from Aris to get her up a few places. Not to the top of the categories, but I think I'm fine with putting her there. It's a good jump. A good sized jump for Aris. Chiome got nothing. Koyan. She did appear in LB7. Spoiler alert. And she has proven a little bit helpful. She has indeed proven to be helpful. But beyond that, not really much has changed with her. She is still obsessed with small, cute things, aka Benny Enma, so I think putting her closer to Benny Enma would probably not be the best idea, so I think I'll leave Koyan here for now. She might change her position because there's still a whole second half of LB7 to go through, so who knows? Maybe 2025's waifu rankings, she'll move up. Anastasia, no change. Karen, no change. Cersei, no change. Helena, no change. Da Vinci, no change. Adele, I don't think is ever going to move. The Just Smash tier. Maeve, no change. Ishtar, no change. Sion. Quick drink of water. You know what? I think Sion deserves to go up a category, because she did pull the big sacrifice play at the end of Tunguska, which did technically, actually in the epilogue of Tunguska, which I believe technically happened in 2024. I can't remember the exacts. It's kind of like anything end of the year is kind of a bit of a blur there, but I think Sion does deserve to move up into the Date and Smash category because of that sacrifice play. Where, though, in the Date and Smash? I'd say above Adele, above Da Vinci, above Helena, above Cersei, above Anna, above Koyan. Yeah, I think here is a good place because Anna had a lot of Anna has had a lot of characterization in Babylonia. Sadly, I don't think her position's ever going to change unless we do some interludes for her, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with moving Sion up to the Date and Smash category, so she's moved up some places. BB, nothing. Miss Crane, nothing. Lion Toria, nothing. Vritra, we did do her interlude, and it was literally just a bunch of challenging fights because she likes to push humanity to overcome hard obstacles. So I don't think I'd want to date her because she just keeps putting higher and higher standards on everything. So yeah, no change there. Nope. And Bonnie Mary Reed. The only bit of development they've had this year has been through old interludes, which kind of just leaned into the whole, we're pirates, we like treasure, I remember some lost treasure, let's go for the lost treasure. So not really much development. I don't even see them ever rising to the Date and Smash category just because of various implication lines imply that they would only ever be interested in smashing, so I think I will leave them where they are. Adelante Alter, no change. Musashi, no change. Ushi, no change. Koshi. I can never pronounce her. I can never remember her name properly. Kichi Hogan, no change. MHX, different from MHXX because full-grown adult working a 9-to-5 job versus kind of fresh out of college student kind of area, or college student probably would be more apt. So no change. Matahari, she did have a bit of a role in the Halloween event. It was a somewhat secondary role, but we did see a little bit more of her. I wouldn't say she got much development, though, as a character there. So, yeah, no change. Carmilla, no change. Okita and Nobu, no change. Ranmaru X, no change. Shisho, no change. Scotty. Scotty is the one the summer event was based around. Quick drink. So Scotty had a whole event based around her, and we found out that she would literally work herself to death if it means to make up for the sins of her past. She's definitely a more complicated character. She sees the Valks very fondly, but she is willing to do it behind our backs to, you know, do some shenanigans, admittedly, but she did it in an effort to make us a bit more relaxed by making an eternal summer. So, good intentions, bad execution. But I do think that is enough to get her up into the Date and Smash category. And I think I will put her just above Anastasia because both of them are so cold aligned. And actually, maybe I should move... Actually, I think that's a good place because I don't like the cold. So an eternal Antarctica summer is a terrible idea. Absolutely terrible idea. Tiamat, no change. Ashtart, no change. Sanzong, no change. Nightingale, no change. Donzo, no change. Kishi Hogan. No, not you're not Kishi Hogan. You're Izumo no Okuni. She had some parts to play in events. I can't really remember what, so it's not memorable enough to make me put her any higher. Same thing with Calamity Jane. I believe she was a commentator in the Morgan Cup, so no change. Actually, I forgot about Morgan Cup, but that doesn't really move Morgan up much. Actually, no, that'll move her up one place. She's a fan of shonen. Her and Bargist. Yeah, I think Bargist is fine there, though. Osaka Beheme, no change. Taira no Kagekyo, no change. Then we're in the C ranks, which need more development to go up at all, if any. No development really was given for Serenity, nor for Yu. Hildur did get some development. I think I'm fine with moving her up to here. She's in the Just Smash category. She had some development in the summer event. Not much, but some, so I'm fine with that move. Rhines, no development. No development for Pollux / Castor, whichever one that is. I can never remember, which is kind of why they are here. They haven't really differentiated themselves from each other. There was the one interlude, but it just kind of proved that he was kind of chill when she wasn't around. So, that was more of a him interlude than a her. So no change there. Gorgon, no change. No change. No change. No change. No change. No change. Protea. We got Protea Alter, but again, they're insisting. Oh, who are you? Like, I want some actual character development. So no change. No change for Gray. Gareth. Gareth was in the summer event, so she did get some character development. What kind of development? She's quite loyal. She's very... Yeah, I think she showed enough character growth in the summer event, independent of the Avalon LaFay, which was not Gareth specifically. So we did get some development from Gareth in the summer event. So I think she does deserve to rise out of the needs development category. But I don't think she got enough development to rise a full rank. Hello, Linkling. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy this ranking of the waifus for 2024. I'm just going through all my old rankings and adjusting before getting to the new servants. But still, welcome to the stream, and I hope you enjoy. I'm currently debating on how high to raise Gareth up, because she did get some development in the Summer Singularity issue thing. I don't really remember if it was a singularity or what, but she did get some development in the summer event. I think she does go out of the needs development tier, but I don't think she got enough to rise 2 whole ranks. So I think I'm gonna put her in the Just Smash tier, and above Okita, above Carmella for sure, above Matahari, MHX. Yeah, I'd say she goes above. She can go right next to Anne Bonnie Marguerite, I think. She has very high potential, and she did have a lot of growth there. So yeah, I think that's a good placement for her. Europa, no changes. Seba, no changes. Although I did pull her, I just need her to stop being towards the bottom of the rank up list so I can actually rank her up. Lakshmi, no change. Nessa, no change. Tomo Cat, no change. Jaguar, no change. Australia, no change. Both of the Shikis have no change. Drake has no change. Kinleong Yu, no change. 100 Masks, no change. Altera, no change. Base Adelante, no change. Boudica, no change. Zhangqi, no change. Nursery, no change. Chloe, no change. Wu did get a summer variant. Wu Zetian did get a summer variant, and it was an adult. It was a more grown-up variant. We got to see what she was more like when she was probably more of an adult. She was less of a fraidy cat. She was more assured of herself. I think she deserves to go up into the Just Smash tier as well. I'm pretty sure I've got her adult form further down, so when the time comes, I will just replace. Goi is in the waifu candidate rankings. She's pretty high up. Goi is pretty high up. The Imaginary Scramble event was a lot of good character development for Goi, so Goi is pretty high up there. But, Wu Zetian. I think moving her up into the Just Smash category is a good plan. But saying that, she is still a bit of a brat, even in her more grown-up form. So I don't think she's going to be very high in the Just Smash category. I think putting her above Nightingale is probably a good place, because I feel like she would be more inclined than Nightingale would be, you know? Yeah, I think that's a good place. Bunyan is distinctly different from Super Bunyan, apparently. So, this is only stuff that I've learned post. The reason Bunyan was in the needs more development tier was because... right, you are just new here. So, the one true waifu tier, the waifu tier, the friend to all brides tier, because all the waifus are brides, so they need a friend right beneath them to help prop them up, the waifu candidates, the ones that I would date and smash, the ones that I would just smash, the ones that need more development, the ones that is not happening for one reason or another, and the Praise Long Janta tier, for Janta is the great unifier, she who brought us all back to 0 login streak, she who took down FGO and the end of Gacha for a single day. Praise Long Janta. Praise Long Janta. Anyways, Bunyan. Right, so Bunyan was in the needs more development here because I did know Super Bunyan was coming. However, it's been made apparent that Super Bunyan is different than normal Bunyan, which means normal Bunyan is a child. So, normal Bunyan is going down to join the other confirmed child servants. Then there is the Mecha Ellies, no changes there. Zenobia, no change. Salome did get a fair bit of development. She was in Trom for a good part of the beginning. So Salome, she is very obsessive. Like, if she starts to fall in love, obsessive, she will see us as John the Baptist and want to decapitate us. Obsessive. So, yeah, while she did get a lot of development, and she did overcome that urge to decapitate us, I think feeding into affection with her, even by putting her in the Just Smash tier, is probably not a good idea. So I do sadly think Salome is going to have to drop a tier to the not happening. I will put her, though, at the top of the not happening tier, because if she was not insane enough to decapitate us for starting to show affection, she would probably be in the Just Smash tier at least. But, you know, even smashing, you can develop feelings, and you do not want to you do not want her developing any feelings. Young Hokusai is a no. Marie did actually get some development because we did recently do her interlude. And we got to see how a little bit of the Marie alter from the Eris event like a couple of years ago. We did get to see a little bit of her preemptively and learn that she is not just another version of Marie. I mean, she is, but she's also some feelings that Marie holds on to. Some of that kind of lingering resentment that is still there. So she did get some development. Not much, however, so I'm not going to move. I'd say she still needs more development. I'm pretty sure I unlocked more interludes for her, so she does have good chances to rise higher. But because she's gotten a fair bit of development, I'm going to put her in second place just behind Serenity, because Serenity kind of did have a lot of development in Camelot, but not enough development, you know. Praise Long Janta tier is not going to be changing, so the not happening tier. Salome is fresh to that tier, so it's not happening. Martha is a saint, so that's not happening. Scheherazade she's gotten some character development, but I still do not like her for insulting Romani all the way back then, so it's not happening. Kiyohime is kind of in the same exact boat as Salome, except she will burn you for lying, and that's too big of a flight risk, or that's too big of a life risk, so yeah, Kiyohime is not gonna change. Raiko is a bit obsessive, so yeah, not gonna change. Shuten will gut you, and probably eat you, if she starts to grow fond of you, and we're not Kintoki. So again, not gonna happen. See, the not gonna happen is a variety of reasons, from murder, hate, a saint, and, you know, Mole is another case. She is literally the Eldritch vessel for the Eldritch Mother, essentially. I don't think I can say her name properly without possibly getting struck down by the YouTube hammer, so I'm not going to even try to pronounce the name of the elder entity she's connected to. But, yeah, I wouldn't trust her at all. Ibaraki's kind of in the same boat as Shuten. Jean is a saint, and even in her summer form, she insists that we are her little brother, and I'm not into that. So, even when she is less of a saint, no. Just, no. No. I would not defile a saint. Saber Lily, again, kind of the child form of Saber, so not gonna happen. Steno and Uriel, they are too frickin' conceited for me to ever even entertain the possibility of it. So, not gonna happen. Married, and I do not break marriages. Hopelessly in love, not gonna break that. Married, hopelessly in love, married, hopelessly in love, / I ship her with Amakusa. Relationship with Romani, and I would not do that to Romani. Possible lingering feelings with Romani were there. There was kind of implied tension there, so also Mash's mom, and, you know, again, kind of same reason as Jean. I would not hurt Mash that way. I would not. Excuse me. Parvati, married to a god who would incinerate me. So no. Yu Senpai, she would literally murder me if I tried. Bradamante is searching for her long-lost love. I can't remember your name. Galatea, I think it was? She's kind of in love with her original artist. If memory serves, that's just based on how her story went. So, yeah, not gonna happen. Penth. There is one word that you cannot say around her, and if you say it, you will get eviscerated. I feel like if there is any kind of relationship, that word would end up coming out. And I do not like being eviscerated. Cha-Cha. So, Cha-Cha's actually in an interesting case, because we saw her grow up a little bit in the Guda Guda event this year. Not literally grow up, we didn't see like an adult form of Cha-Cha, but she did get a lot of character development. She was not so childish. She showed a more maternal side to her, where she was concerned for her lost son. However, saying that, she was married. She was a mother. So, for different reasons, she's going to move away from the child servants and join the servants that are in relationships part of the not happening, or have a significant other. Because, yeah, I mean, that was very sweet that we got to see her maternal side, and I wouldn't want to change that, you know? And then child / sees Melt as mom, so we are dad, and again, kind of same logic as there, and there, not happening. Ilya, child, Jack, child, and Bunyan is fresh too there. So, took about a half an hour, but we went through all of the old rankings. There was some shakeups, some movements, but not some significance. We did not have anybody rise to the ranks of waifu just yet. I think the biggest jump was possibly Sion moving into the Date and Smash category from the Just Smash. I say that was a pretty significant jump. Yeah. But that is the basics. Now we go to the new servants. Woo! So, starting off the new servants, we have Pretender. I cannot remember her name. Gosh, I cannot remember her name. It's Hephaestion. That's what it is. Hephaestion. I just need to search my memory banks. Hephaestion. She was part of the El Malloy Case Files rerun, sort of a secondary side event in the main event to it. We got to meet and greet and talk with her a little bit. It wasn't much development, though, so I think I'm fair to put her in the needs development tier, just because I need to see more of her not just being Iskandar's replacement, you know? Excuse me. I think that is fair. I think anybody who needs development is good place here. I would say... yeah, that's fine. Bazette. Bazette was in the Valentine's event for this year. She was the Valentine's servant. I did get her as well. Higher Ascensions, she does kind of swap with a god, but they're kind of still there. But Bazette's still there. We got to see multiple sides to her. We got to see how she's tough on the outside, but she does have a more girly interior, you know? Definitely more feminine interior than the only other depiction of Bazette I've seen, which is the Prilia series, where she is kind of no-nonsense. So I'd say we got some good characterization for Bazette here. So I think she does not need to be in the needs development category. Do I think she is dateable? Tomboy with a girly side. I think she's dateable, yeah. I think Bazette is gonna go next to Sion. Yeah, I think that's a good placement for her. There is some implications of lingering something with regards to Ku, but it's not really clear what that lingering bit is. Plus, I'm pretty sure Ku's, like, father / or patron is kind of inhabiting Bazette, so that would be weird. But yeah, I'm not really sure what Ku and Bazette's relationship is. I do know that in the original FSN timeline, she's the one that summons Ku, and then is ganked by Kirei and dies. So she has a role in Hollow Atraxia, so maybe if Hollow Atraxia ever comes out and I play Hollow Atraxia, maybe she'll move up. I don't know. But for now, I think Bazette in the Date and Smash category is a fair placement. The Trung Sisters. The Trung Sisters were part of the Sea Monster Crisis event. They did have a part to play, but honestly, the other waifus kind of were a little bit more prominent. Also, speaking of other waifus, I completely forgot about that event. But Morgan's already number 3 in Date and Smash, so I think she's fine there. I think Morgan's fine there. I'm pretty sure that most of the Fairy Knights are going to move up this coming summer, but we'll get to that next year. Anyways, the Trung Sisters. Again, I was kind of more focused on the other waifus that were in the event. Like, Melt. Honestly, the two big stars of the event were Melt and Morgan. Morgan was kind of a side star, but she's the one that brought us Taisui. And Melt is kind of the one who bonded most with the Khans. Gave one Khan kind of that independence with the ribbon. And that is still established in Taisui's art. So even in the Trung Sisters event, they kind of got shafted. But they are kind of in a similar boat to Pollux and Castor, where one sibling is kind of obsessive over the other, so I think I will put them next to each other. Yeah, I'm fine with that. If they can get some more development in future events / interludes, if I have a role for them, then who knows? Maybe they'll rise. Anyways, next up we have Super Bunyan, who is distinct from normal Bunyan. Super Bunyan is a capitalist and a very, very bad boss because she thinks her idea of payment is a statue of her. Yeah. Super Bunyan is quite the something, I will say. She's also obsessed with making movies, and not very good ones. So, yeah, I think it's safe to put her in the needs more development tier, because, you know, maybe some outside of Gouda Gouda, or not Gouda Gouda, outside of, learning with manga shenanigans, maybe she will grow into something a little bit more. But for now, needs more development is fair. The mice. The maid mice servants. I know they were in the same event. I cannot remember their name. And they are willing to play all sides. So kind of a similar boat to Super Bunyan. We need to see some outside of the learning with manga shenanigans. And same thing with I can't remember her name. I cannot remember her name. She was like the secondary antagonist of the event, and I cannot remember her name. She's obsessed with dinosaurs. She's a paleontologist. Think. What is her name? Nope, can't think of it. Mary Anning. That does sound right. Mary Anning does sound right. But the fact that it took me so long to think of her name does not bode well. I will put her higher than Super Bunyan because she had good reason to be pissed with Super Bunyan. In fact, you know, Super Bunyan is kind of at the bottom of needs more development because Super Bunyan is not a nice person. Anyways, Creamhild. Yeah, not doing that to my boy Sumanai. Not doing that to my boy Sumanai. Sumanai, you are one lucky man to have Creamhild as your waifu. Sumanai is one lucky man. Bakin. So Bakin is another dual servant situation. On one side is her, on one side is her father figure. So we are obviously only talking about her and not her father figure. Bakin, as a person, she was quite nice during her event. She kind of opposed the plot that her father figure was trying to do. She did oppose. She had some good development in that event. I'm trying to think. I think she got enough development that she does not need more development. So I think putting her in the Just Smash category is fine, because I would not feel comfortable dating her with her father literally living in the back of her mind. Her father figure, rather. So where in the Just Smash category? It's a shame Oi is not in this category, because then they could sit next to each other, because they are friends. I think putting her probably there is a good spot. Sort of middle of the pack. Because she has good potential to move up if she can get another version where she does not have her father sticking around. The reason that Hokusai/Oi, or Oi Hokusai, is so high up is because her father is literally a squid, and as long as he's effed off, you know, we don't have to worry about him at all. Anyways, Ark, or Arkroyd, I cannot pronounce her name. She was the anniversary servant, and that's kind of it. She's not had any story appearances. So you are at the bottom of the needs development, because there is nothing outside of bond lines and the like with you. Zufu. Zufu did get some more development. she was, first off, made summonable this year. But looking back, we have both the Summer of Horror, which was like 2 years ago to consider her development, as well as Trom. The thing with Zufu, though, is she is very much obsessed with you, Senpai. Very much obsessed with you, Senpai. So I do not think she would be comfortable going in the date and Smash category. However, you know, maybe, just maybe, she'll be comfortable, you know, just smashing now and then, you know. She's bound to get frustrated at times, and she's fairly chill. She's kind of a friend character, so I think putting her in the just Smash category is fine. The question is where. I think putting her kind of right here is a good place for her. Yeah, I think there's a good place. You know, she might reject it, but, you know, the offer would always be there. But, again, I don't think she would ever date, but maybe she would be down to Smash. Who knows? Lady Avalon, a.k.a. Female Merlin, a.k.a. Proto-Arthur's version of Merlin. Part of the summer event. A decent part of the summer event. She was kind of with us there from near the beginning. Very mischievous. Very kind as well. I'd say she did get good development. She is a succubus, much like Merlin is an incubus, though. Is that a hard sell? No. I don't think so. I don't think it's a hard no for her being a succubus. I think putting her in the just Smash category is appropriate. Because, you know, succubus, but also nice. She's nice. She's playful. She's mischievous. I say let's put her around a little bit above Tiamat. Yeah, a little bit above Tiamat that's a good place. That's a good place. Gareth. There is Gareth's new image. Hey, Misa Guy, welcome to the stream. Happy things. Gareth, new image. Can go there. Old image, Gareth. Go down here with all of the others. Ibuki. Did I not even put... Hang on, is Ibuki not even on here? Did I miss Baseline Ibuki? Baseline Ibuki never ended up on here. Interesting. Huh. I don't know how I missed Ibuki last year. Well, that's interesting, unless I'm just blind as a bat. No, I guess I'm not. But Ibuki, well, let's talk about her. First appeared in the Mandala Naraka Singularity Lost Belt fake thing that Doman tried to pull off. A bitch of a fight. Goddess. Very much kind of plays to her whims. Even her appearance in the summer event was kind of just, you know, she went with what she went with. She was the true big bad behind it all, if memory serves. She was the true big bad behind it all. Very flaky. Caused a lot of trouble. Kind of obsessed with us, which was weird. So she has definitely got enough development. But I don't think putting her too high would be a good idea. She's also... I don't think she's in the same boat as Shootin. While she is sort of the flip side of Shootin, she's the more divine side of Shootin as well. She is Shootin Doji as a goddess. So I don't think she would gut us and eat us to show her affection. I think much as I don't like her as, you know, a character design standpoint or a servant design, because apparently she is the most busted AoE Arts Berserker and you need to have her, I think putting her in the Just Smash category works. She can go next to Tiamat. Yeah, because I like Tiamat more than her. Aris. Aris updated photo. Boop. Bop. Scotty, updated photo. Boop. Where is Scotty? Where is she? Where is Scotty? Where is she? I know I discussed her and I know I moved her around, but I'm blind at this moment in time. Scotty. There's Scotty. I was looking right at her. Also, just look at the difference between these two sprites. Look how much happier she appears in her summer form compared to her base form. That's nice. I think I did right by putting Scotty where I put her. Grown up woo. Grown up woo. Can go there. I mean, another comparison. Just look at the difference in the facial features. Much more angular facial features, wider shoulders there. So yeah, definitely a good call. Now we are in the Valkyrie Squadron. Let's start off by replacing the old Valks with their new summer counterparts. Hilder is there. Excuse me. I don't remember your name, honestly, which is sad because you are in the Just Smash category. You're higher than Hilder, but your name is the one I remember the least. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, pink-haired Valkyrie. Ortland, there you are. Go right back there. Right up there to the waifu candidate, Ortland. Okay, I gotta think. What is your name? What is the pink-haired Valk's name? Hilder is blonde. Ortland is black-haired. What is the pink one? No, wait. Thrud. You're Hilder. You're Thrud. I'm dumb. I'm a dum-dum. I am Hilder is pink-haired. Thrud is blonde. I am dumb. Confirmed. The other three Valks, they did have appearances in the summer event. They were they didn't really differentiate themselves, though. They did not really differentiate themselves much more like the normal Valks do. I think that we need to see more of them. The chances of that are not very high, admittedly. So I think we'll put them above the learning with manga characters. But yeah, overall, the new trio of Valks needs some development to really differentiate them. I mean, to be fair, the normal Valks, on first appearance, they do seem to be one cohesive unit, but they have had a few years of development. Plus, even in the Lost Belt they appeared in, they did differentiate themselves even then. What's your name? You only have one form that is truly female. I can't remember your name. You were in the Gouda Gouda event. You were like a fairly recent one. Shoot. The name. Give me the name! Head. I can't remember. I truly cannot remember your name. The male counterpart is the one that got the most development, though. That much I remember, is your male side got most of the character development, and we only really learned about the female side to the servant towards the end of the event. We did get some of the backstory for said female side. She was a young girl who was sent off to live as a consort for some royal, and then said royal was killed, so she was killed. I can't remember too much more beyond that. So I'd say that because I don't remember your name as well, and we've only got development from the male side, you're going to go there. I should probably use the female ascension next time. Probably. EO. EO is next. EO was part of the same exact event. However, given the fact that I remember her name, she's obviously going to place higher. EO is the counterpart to Himiko. She is the moon to Himiko's sun. EO kind of had a lot of self-deprecation issues. She was sure that she was evil. I'm pretty sure even her alignment is evil because the alignment system is how the character envisions themselves. So EO sees herself as bad, but she's sort of more of a gentle darkness sort of position. Hard worker, was willing to take over after Himiko, sort of absconded, / I don't really know what exactly happened to Himiko. Definitely has some self-confidence issues in that she was sure she was the reason that Yamatai Koku fell, because it kind of fell after her reign. But overall, Io was a very nice, refreshing little character. So, I don't think putting her... I think she is in the Date and Smash category. She is not as high as Himiko, though. Don't get me wrong, Io was adorable, but I don't think she's as high as Himiko. Higher than Adele, higher than Da Vinci, higher than Helena, higher than Cersei, higher than Karen. Higher than Anna... Yeah, higher than Anna and Sky, just because I hate the cold. Definitely higher than Koyan. I think putting her around Chiome is appropriate. They both kind of have a, oh, woe is me, my existence is cursed, and we kind of help them overcome that. The both of them. So yeah, I think that's a good place for them. That is a good place for them. And then there is another character whose name escapes me. Gosh darn it. Okay, this one I'm going to look up because she is not in the Needs More development. She did have a fair bit of development. I just have trouble with remembering names at times, especially for the more complicated names, and I'm pretty sure she had one. Huyan Zhou. See, that's a name I would not easily remember. Huyan Zhou is a sort of mishmash servant if memory serves. She's part Huyan Zhou and part some, like, nymph or something. She's got a copper leg, what I remember, as far as what her blending is. But Huyan Zhou is a bit of a crybaby, does need excessive amounts of praise, but she is kind. She was willing to do a lot in order to, she was willing to put aside her differences and help Ellie when push came to shove. So I think she definitely has enough development. As far as I was aware, she was not in any relationship. But I do not see her as a dateable character, just because you would need to constantly be praising her, and that would be a little bit tiring. So I think in the Just Smash tier is appropriate. Where in the Just Smash tier? Kind of high maintenance, even for just smashing. I would say put her here. Not very high in the just... Hang on. Sorry. I'm almost done. Because the last one is Ellie, who is I am streaming right now. I will call you back in a minute.
Gotta go in.
Alright, bye. Sorry about that. That was my dad calling. As evidenced by the fact that the FGO music sort of got out. But, yeah. I am waiting on a phone call, anyways, from a college, so probably just cut that out, maybe. I don't know. Last one, Ellie. The water dragon Ellie. Child Ellie. Child. Says, bears no repeating. because very much distinctly different from normal Ellie. Normal Halloween and both Saber and Castor Halloween Ellies are kind of up here, as well as Cinderella. Cinderella is up here as well. But yeah, I think that is pretty much all of them. The only other one that is in contention for possibly being put here is you, Olga Marie, but we literally only got some development for her in the last couple of weeks of the year. And there's obviously going to be more development for her over the course of LB7, the second half of which should probably begin either next week or the following week. So 2025 waifu rankings, you, Olga Marie, will probably end up on here somewhere. But where, I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to go really quick, scroll slowly so you can all see the rankings one last time as I start to sign off. So, I've been Solar Dragon. I hope you've all enjoyed today's stream. If you have, leave me some feedback in whichever way you so see fit. If you want to check out more by me, be sure to check out my channel here on Twitch or YouTube. Same name, same games. There is plenty of content for you to enjoy. And you can also check out the previous year's waifu rankings to see where everybody fell and how the movements have been shaken. But yeah, once again, thank you all so much for coming out. I hope you enjoyed. Have a fantastic evening, everybody. Praise Longjanta! Praise Longjanta!